each of your cords evenly in half and attach them to the ring with a lark's head knot. So just take that folded end over the top of the ring so that your loop hangs behind. Then pull the 2 remaining cords through the loop and pull it tight. Repeat with the remaining 5 cords. Our next step is to begin tying square knots. So I will be working in sections of 4, and I'm just going to tie 3 square knots with 4 ropes per section. So starting with the first group of 4 here on the far left, I'm going to take the rope on the far right, cross it over the 2 cords in the middle to form a loop. Then I take the rope on the left to go over that right cord. I'm going to send it behind the 2 in the middle and pull it up through the loop on the right. Then I'm just going to pull those 2 ropes to tighten up the knot. Now to finish out my square knot, I'm going to take the side on the left to cross over the 2 cords in the middle to form a loop. Then I take the side on the right to go over that left cord. I send it behind the 2 cords in the middle and then pull it up through the loop on the left. Pull it tight. And that is my first square knot. Now I move on to the next 4 ropes and just repeat the same steps to tie a square knot. Now I'm going to come back over here to the left side, and I'm going to take the cord on the very far left and attach it to the side of my ring with a lark's head knot. So to do this, I'm just going to send it over the ring, twist it around the ring to come through the loop, pull that tight. Then I'm going to take the rope behind my ring to form a loop. I twist the end over the ring and pull it through the loop. And I pull it tight. Okay, it will look like a lark's head knot once you are finished. Now I'm going to take the next cord to the left. I'm going to send it underneath the cord we just tied. Okay? And I'm going to attach this next cord to the ring the same way. So once again, I just cross it over the ring. You'll see this loop where I can then twist it behind the ring to go through the loop, and I pull it tight. Then I take that same end, this time send it behind the ring to form my loop, twist it around the ring, and pull it through the loop. Pull it tight. Now I'm going to leave off these 2 cords we just used and take the next 4 cords and tie 1 alternating square knot, okay? And again, an alternating square knot is just when you use 2 cords from 2 adjacent square knots to connect them together. Take the next 4 cords and tie another alternating square knot. Now we're going to attach these 2 cords here on the right to the ring using another lark's head knot. I will start with the furthest right cord first. Now I'm going to move down and tie a row of 3 alternating square knots, starting with the first 4 cords here on the left side. Now we're going to attach the 2 cords here on the far left back to the ring again with that lark's head knot. Now leave off those 2 cords, take your next 4 cords and tie an alternating square knot. With the next 4 cords, tie another alternating square knot. Now attach those 2 cords on the right with another lark's head knot to the side of the ring. I'll start with the furthest right cord. Now tie another row of 3 alternating square knots, starting with the 4 cords here to the left. Now I'm going to add my beads to act as the eyes for my little Rudolph reindeer. So I'm going to skip the 3 cords here on the left, and then I'm just going to use the next cord. And I'm going to use a little hack that I like to do, which is to take a bobby pin and slide it onto the cord. And this just makes it a little bit easier to thread my bead. And I'm just using a wooden bead that I painted black. Now I'm going to do the same on the right side. So I'm going to leave off the 3 cords on the far right, take the next cord, and thread it onto my bead. Now I'm going to tie a row of 2 alternating square knots. So leave off the 2 cords on the far left and take your next 2 cords. Take the next 4 cords to tie that second alternating square knot. As I do these square knots, I like to make sure those center cords are pulled pretty tight so that there's not any big gaps because of the beads we added. And now I'm just going to tie one final square knot directly in the middle. Okay, so just take those very middle 4 cords to tie that last square knot. Now take all of your cords and I want you to send them behind the ring. Okay, once they are all behind the ring, I'm going to start with the cord here on the far left and I'm going to attach it with a double half-hitch knot. Okay, so it starts from behind and then I just curl it up to form a loop, twist it around the ring, and pull it through the loop and pull it tight. Then I take that same cord over the ring again to form a loop. I twist it around and pull it through the loop. And that's all there is to it. So one more time, that strings starts behind the ring, then I twist it up and over to form a loop, twist it around and pull it through the loop, and then pull it tight. Repeat this again by just curling that rope over the ring to form a loop, twist it around the ring and pull it through the loop and pull it tight. And repeat with all your remaining cords. Okay, so this is what your project will look like so far once you have done all of those double half-hitch knots at the bottom. Now we're going to work on forming the antlers for our Rudolph reindeer. So separate your ropes evenly. So you should have 6 ropes on one side and 6 ropes on the other side. Okay, so once you have your ropes separated, we're going to be tying one giant square knot with the 6 cords here on the left. So I'm going to use the cord on the right and on the left to tie around the 4 cords in the middle. So we are just tying your normal square knot, only it's just around a few more cords in the middle than normal. Once you've tied that first square knot, we're just going to tie 2 more square knots just like this. So we'll have a total of 3 of these big square knots. Once that is finished, take your ropes and separate them again, this time into 2 sections of 3. Now, using each section, we're going to tie 3 more square knots. So starting with this group here on the left, I take the right cord and the left cord to tie around 1 cord in the middle. Now do the same with the 3 cords to the right. Now we are going to repeat all of these steps on the right side. Okay, now our antlers are complete. So before we take care of all of these ends, we're going to pull out the 2 cords that come together here in the middle. Okay, so the cord on the far left from the right side and the cord on the far right from the left side. And what I'm going to do with these cords is I'm going to tie them together with an overhand knot, and this is going to act as our hanger. So you can leave as much space as you would like depending on how big of a hanger you want to make, but just tie these cords together in a simple overhand knot. You can take your scissors and trim off the cords right after that overhand knot. Now flip your project around so we're on the back side of the project. So what we're going to do with the remaining cords is we're actually going to just tuck them in the back side of our antlers using a tapestry needle. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring in a tapestry needle, and we are going to thread our remaining cords through the back sides of our square knots. So we're going to be going down the centers of these square knots, okay? So these middle pieces right here, that's what we're going to go through. So just take your first cord and thread it onto your needle. And then I always skip the very first middle section of the square knot and I go to the next one, and I like to go through at least 2. You can go through more for more security, but definitely go through at least 2. And then you might need to use your fingers to kind of loosen up those center sections while you pull it through. Okay, you want to be a little gentle, but you can also really get in there and pull on this, okay? Our square knots are pretty tough, so they shouldn't be deformed at the end. So once you pull that through, just keep pulling your rope until it is through the section. And then we're just going to repeat with the next cord. Okay, so I did my first 2 cords through the back of the square knots, so I have one more cord left on this section. So it's gonna get a little tight on the 2 cords I first went under. So with this cord here on the far right side, I'm actually going to skip the 2 I previously went through and go through the next 2. Okay, so once I have those pulled through, I can just take a pair of scissors and trim off those ends right where they come out. Okay, now to add a little extra security, it is always a good idea to add a little bit of fabric glue to the back here where they stick out slightly, or even some hot glue. So now I'm just going to repeat the same steps with all the remaining cords, okay? Okay, so this is now the back side of my Rudolph antlers. If I flip it around, this is what the front side looks like. Okay, so it is pretty neat. And now our final step to making our Rudolph is to add the little red nose. Bring in your 2 red cords, and what we're going to do is find the center square knot here at the bottom. We're going to go right above that square knot, and you'll notice there's kind of a gap here between the 2 square knots above it. Send the end of your cord right through that gap. Okay, and pull that out a bit. And then we're going to twist the end that's now behind our project and send it up here. So next to that center square knot on the left side, you want to send it up through that gap. And then just pull on those ropes until the left cord is just a slightly longer than the one next to it, okay? So that's what it looks like. My left cord is just a few inches longer than the side on the right. We're going to do the same with our second cord, okay? So push it through that center gap, pull it through, and then take the side that is behind the project up through the gap here on the right side. Okay, that's what it's going to look like when you have done that. And then again, just pull your cords so that the right cord is even with the cord on the far left, okay? You're just going to leave these a few inches longer than the center cords. Now we're going to tie a berry knot. So a berry knot is made by making 3 square knots in a row. So just go ahead and tie those 3 square knots. Now we're going to take those middle cords and send them through the gap up here, okay? So right above the little red square knot. Send it. And pull on that until your project rounds. Now we're going to also send these 2 other cords behind the project as well. So we're just going to send them down through the bottom. So the left cord is going to come out where that other cord is visible here at the bottom. And I do the same on the right side. So that gap here at the bottom, just send it through so it's next to that other red cord you can see. Flip your project around, and we're going to secure the back side here with another square knot. Okay, just your standard square knot once again. So once you have that square knot formed, flip it around just to make sure your little berry knot is still rounded and how you like it to look. And if it is, flip that back around and we are just going to trim off the ends. So before I trim off the ends, I just like to take these left and right cord and just tie it together in a standard knot one time, just to give it a little more security to make sure it doesn't come undone. Then I'm going to take my scissors and trim off all the ends. Just like that. So this is what the back side looks like. And again, you can always add a little bit of fabric glue to that berry knot just to be safe. Then flip it back around so you can see the finished result of our Rudolph. Now I just want to share one little example if you don't have beads or want to use it. This is a Rudolph without the eyes, so it's a little more abstract feeling, and I think it's just as cute. So it's kind of, again, a personal preference, and if you don't have the supplies to do beads, you can always omit the eyes and just have a cute little abstract ornament. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful and inspiring, and thank you so much for watching.